Making a comeback in Mobile Legends is pretty challenging, especially when you are against better players. The match transitions from early to late game very fast. By the time you can catch up in items and experience, your opponents have already destroyed all of your towers. Having said that, even if it's difficult to get back in the game, it doesn't mean you don't have a chance to turn it around in your favor. Even if you're down 0-3 with no items completed and levels behind, there are still some things you can do to get back on track and help your team win. Hi everyone, this is hybridx, and today I'm going to show you my 8 tips on how to make a comeback in Mobile Legends. What I'm about to teach you not only increases your chances of making that comeback, but also helps you improve your game knowledge and decision making when playing solo queue. So with that said, let's just jump right into it. Number 1. Camp the brushes. The easiest way to get a kill and make a comeback is through camping the brushes. Oftentimes, whenever your enemies are ahead, they get overconfident thinking they can just kill anyone on their path. They would even hunt solo while face checking every brushes on the map just to pad their stats. Use this opportunity to catch your opponent off guard. You could camp the brush next to the lane where the creep waves will meet. This will serve as a bait to lure your opponents out. Wait for them to come out and go for the ambush. If the opponents are way ahead, let them use their skills first to clear the wave before jumping in. This gives you the skill advantage as they cannot fight back when their damage abilities are still in cooldown. Always start with your CC and burst your opponent down as quickly as possible. Number 2. Keep track of your enemies. One way for your games to get out of hand is when your lane opponents start snowballing other lanes. What usually happens is after the opponent kills you a couple of times, they'll start roaming around the map looking for ganks on other lanes. Oftentimes, this results in a successful gank because your team members aren't prepared for the gank from multiple opponents. So in order to prevent this from happening, make sure to keep track of your lane opponents. Spamming the warning button is not good enough. Many players are really bad at map awareness. Mirror your lane opponent's movement and anticipate which lane they will most likely gank. Observe the map and see who is in your team is outnumbered. Remember, a perfect time counter gank always goes well for that team. So be proactive and always respond to other lanes that need your help. Number 3. Know your territory. Your territory shrinks or expands based on the towers you have lost and have taken. For example, once the enemy breaks your tier 1 top tower, the map on that side opens up for them. They can freely walk around that part of the jungle, which give them access to your team's buff, jungle monster, and can even set up ganks that deep. Be cautious when farming creep waves on that lane. Only take farms that are near your tower. Know your boundaries and respect your enemy's new claimed territory. Avoid wandering around the jungle unless you have a teammate to support you or you are sure that the enemies are not there. Vice versa, this also applies to your team as well. Take advantage of the new areas you have gained control. Punish overextending opponents and steal their jungle monsters as much as possible. This denies them golden experience which help your team get back in the game. Number 4. Don't be greedy. When you die, you become very anxious to get back the gold and experience you have lost. You can't wait to get even with your opponent. You force skirmishes, which often leads to more deaths. And the more you die, the more your emotions clouded your better judgment. Because of this, you start taking more risks like overreaching to unsafe lanes just to get that extra farm. Or you go all in against 2 opponents, hoping you could somehow make that 2v1 outplay. This bad plays only further your team's downfall. Calm yourself down and learn to be patient. Analyze your predicament and find solution for it. Slowly climb back from your deficits through smart decisions than gambling for those high-risk plays but low in reward. Number 5. Play defensive. There are certain things you can't do when you are falling behind. You need to change your playstyle and adapt to your current situation. You can't afford to play aggressive anymore because your opponent have stronger items than you. They can withstand all of the damage you can inflict on them. Playing a defensive approach allows you to dish out damage without taking too much risk. For example, normally when you are playing Saber, you use your ultimate to engage on a target and kill. But when you are behind, you don't have the damage to execute the same tactic. The more optimal way to use Saber's ultimate in this situation is to peel for your teammates instead. This would keep you safe in the back while your teammates fill in the damage you are lacking. Number 6. Earn it, don't steal. Do not steal your teammates' buffs and crabs. This only makes your team's situation even worse than they already are. Understand that whenever you go stealing these jungle monsters, you are basically dragging your teammates down with you. You are hindering them the chance of carrying you by denying them the golden experience to keep up against the opponents. Find other ways to get back into the game. Roam around the map and help your team get some kills. Get the towers and control the lanes. Earn your golden experience by protecting your team instead. When you are behind, you need to throw your ego aside and let your teammates carry the game for you. Number 7. Wait for mistakes. Whether the bad plays were forced or unforced, a lot of comebacks starts from a blunder. For example, the opponent completely misses his ultimate and was punished for it, or the marksman was caught off guard and got engaged on. All of these errors contribute to your odds of making the comeback. Mistakes will always happen in Mobile Legends, and what you need to learn is to recognize these mistakes and capitalize on them. The more misplays you can punish, the higher chance of getting back in the game. If you think about it, you're actually just trying to pay back the errors your team has made earlier in the game. The only difference is the longer the game goes, the greater the cost of each mistake becomes. Meaning, the longer the death timers are, the more free farms and map control you can have, which is going to be helpful for your comeback. And number 8. Don't be toxic. I'm also guilty of flaming my teammates sometimes, especially when things are falling apart and I need to carry my carries as a support or tank. It's really frustrating to watch my teammates die every minute or two. I can only do so much to help my team succeed. This anxiety of losing causes me to say derogatory words just to vent out my frustrations. This is not really healthy for your team if you still want to win the game. My advice to you all is just don't type. Accept that this is the crew you need to ride with for the entire game. Cursing your teammates won't make them suddenly play like Yuji or Yelly Haze from Brent Esports. I know it's difficult, but arguing with your teammates only makes things worse. You'll end up focusing on cursing and they'll end up focusing on replying. Then the entire game becomes a social media comments debate. When playing solo queue, just focus on the things you can control. And the only thing you can control is your own gameplay. So what you need to do is just play around the strength and weakness of your team. If you really need to say something, try to say something constructive instead. Keep the team morale high and don't be toxic. You will win more games if you stay cool and have a healthy team environment. So that's it people, my 8 tips on how to make a comeback in Mobile Legends. I hope you learned something new today. Press the like button if you enjoyed this content. I'm new to YouTube, so please help my channel grow by subscribing and sharing my videos among your friends. Thank you for watching and see you again next time.